There's voices in my brain. And baby, they're saying I'm insane.
What's up, everybody? I'm doing all the camera work today. Why not? Why not? What's going on, everybody? This is Isaac, and we are back at the shack. When I say we, I'm talking about my boy right here, J Max, right here.
What's up? What's up?
Guitarist extraordinaire Sammy C right in front of me.
What's up?
And let's not forget Luis Garcia with his brand new guitar.
$60 of
I love
regret.
Sue flying guitar.
Hell yeah. But, we've been out a little bit, folks. That damn COVID got me one more time, that son of a bitch. He got me.
Did he?
He did, and then the week after that, I renewed my wedding vows. I was just a busy week. Man, I had no idea. It was just a small wedding, and it was, just our good friends, immediate family, and that was it. And so it's small, gosh, like just headache. I mean, not a headache, just a lot of stuff going on. That was a busy week, and then so we decided to hold up for a little bit, but we're back. And anyway, and I guess some things have gone on since then. I know since then, I believe Jeff Beck passed. Was that? That was like a couple. Jeff Beck passed.
Yeah.
And a few other things, but I know as far as me playing, I finally started playing. I did a couple of shows, and so my hands are almost getting back. I had, like I said, I had the carpal tunnel surgery, and on both my hands, and the pain is getting gone. The stiffness is getting gone, but the being very sensitive, my fingertips is still there. So that's still slowing me down, but
that has to take a minute.
Yeah, gosh,
to
Lee, it frustrates me, but I've been catching up on other things, and but you fellas, I know John, that was your first show back the other day, wasn't it? Was that your first show back we did up there at the Twisted Sisters
This year?
Yes.
Man, I think we talked about it a little bit. I thought we had a couple shows.
Did we? Okay.
I don't.
Oh yeah, that was in November because I had my first surgery.
So
and then
we've had a couple in the past 6 months.
Because since December I was out,
Yeah.
But this year, this is your first of 23.
I guess it is, yeah.
And Sammy, you've been busy, brother.
Yeah.
In 23 already.
Yeah. There was no break. I took my last week of December was the break.
So what all have you been doing here in Waco? All of this has been in Waco, right? Or actually, you was out of town a little bit, weren't you?
Yeah, we went out of town for a minute, and then doing some stuff around town.
I hear you. I hear you. For the I guess Brian Brown, but mainly the backyard stuff.
We've done some stuff in the backyard,
and stuff coming up with the backyard, right? With
there is some stuff coming up at the backyard.
Southern rock thing.
That's gonna be at the backyard.
Tell me about that one.
So what we usually do is there's a Southern rock show where we do everything. Of course, you have all your usual suspects in there, right? You got Skinner, Allman Brothers.
That one Molly Hatchet song.
But we do that one Molly Hatchet tune. And that's always
that's one of my favorite songs of all time. Molly Hatchet, I love Molly Hatchet for some reason. They never have gotten the respect. The reason why I liked him as a kid, it's so actually, it's not dumb. It's he was I think he was half Mexican, and right there as a kid, it's like they get the fucking rock dude that's fucking half Mexican.
Yeah.
And or he had something like he mentioned one time that he had some Mexican blood, and so it's like I took it. It's like 'cause we don't have a lot of dudes in there besides Ozfox from Striper. So it's like I took it, but not to mention I had a plethora of kick-ass albums as a kid from my older siblings.
Those
you know.
album covers were
So,
what drew you into the
yeah,
Molly
That's
Hatchet.
what that's
They
what it
had
was.
The coolest
and
album
I got
covers.
to listen to
I didn't know where he was going
everything.
with it.
I got to listen to all of that stuff, and Molly Hatchet was one of them.
Yeah, there's like a cult following of artists that they follow that cat
So-
that did the Molly Hatchet stuff.
so as a
Frank
kid,
Francetta, that's his name.
That's his
That's
name,
it.
Lewis.
so as a kid, speaking of like Southern rock and the iconic, the album I remember vividly was the Eat a Peach album with the
Yeah.
Allman Brothers, and I remember that, and it took me a while to adjust. I mean, you got to think I was like I was literally like 10 years old trying to pick up a guitar, 10 or 11, maybe 12, you know, listening to music, just exploring, you know. And it took me a while to really adjust to Eat a Peach, and then
That's
but-
that's
but-
that's,
what?
that's expanded listening,
right.
even for an adult.
Oh yes.
you know.
But I tell you what, Midnight Rider, that got me. But how that got me
Oh yeah,
was I'd heard the Willie Nelson version first,
right on.
and I knew it because I was a big country fan. You know, we was living in the country town and lived out in the country,
Yeah.
listening to country music.
Yeah.
And I heard that one was like, I think I may be wrong, but I may be right because I knew the Willie Nelson version very well, and I heard that, so that's pretty badass, and the voice, and I already knew who the Allman Brothers were. It's like that voice is coming out of a white dude that looks badass with long ass hair, dude. I mean, it was just, it took me,
Yeah.
and the Skinner stuff, of course, took me for sure.
Yeah, when I first got to a spot to where I could listen to music kind of like on my own, whatever I could grab besides, your parents are your first introduction into whatever. You're just going to listen to whatever they have.
Right,
But it was during the time that
gospel stuff,
Well, it was
Mexican
always
gospel stuff.
Mexican gospel, Elvis gospel,
Oh yeah.
and then
All Mexican folks have Mexican
that-
Elvis gospel.
you
we
that-
all have Elvis gospel.
You
I
know,
don't
y'all
what
got
it
that
is.
Elvis album with that chapel behind it.
Not only did my mom have that one, but she also had. This is deep. The Stamps.
The Stamps.
The Stamps gospel album. That
Wow.
was Elvis's backup band.
Right.
I remember
Whoa.
that. Dude,
Wow,
yes.
wow.
And, well, yeah, my mom had all those albums. You know, that was her
I bet
era
that thing's
though.
worth some bucks.
Dude, I still have it. I
That-
still
that-
have the
that-
original. So, the Elvis one.
But that was their era. That was my mom and dad's jam. That was their era. That was
Yeah.
their Van Halen or whatever the hell, you know.
So funny thing about I'll get to the Allman Brothers, but funny thing about that Elvis album was so side one was the slower gospel Elvis, all that stuff. But side two was fire, dude,
Was it?
because it was the Stamps and the Jordanaires just throwing down,
Oh,
and so
God.
I was probably 6, maybe 7, and that's what I hear. Saturday mornings, my mom's cleaning the house, and that's booming through the house, and
Yeah.
I just remember hearing that bass, just kicking it. I was like, wow, there's something different about that.
Yeah,
But
that's cool.
anyway, yeah, that Allman. About the time that I first heard of those guys, I was probably 2nd or 3rd grade, and they weren't playing at that point. They had broken up.
yeah.
So I heard Greg Allman doing his solo stuff,
Yes.
and right off the bat, it was like, what is that? I think I saw him on Solid Gold.
Right.
Solid
Wow.
Gold,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I-
For
you know,
sure I do.
Ozzy Osbourne. I
Hell
saw
yeah,
Solid
dude. I lived
Gold.
out. We only had 2 channels living out in the country. That's all
Yeah.
the chicks. That's all was Solid
Yeah,
Gold.
if y'all don't know what Solid
Them,
Gold
the hee-haw
is,
girls.
yeah, go watch it. But anyway, yeah, they'll do
It
some.
was like Soul Train
it was like Soul Train,
for
but
music,
exactly.
But it was
Exactly.
about pop music.
and there was girls.
Pop
I remember
music.
the girls.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I saw Ozzy Osbourne on there. I can't remember if it was with Jakey Lee, but it was that era. But yeah, they'll do some Almonds, some Molly Hatchet.
Right.
They sneak in some Little Feet.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
For sure.
Well,
Well, they had a Moody, Texas.
there's a guy that played, a couple of guys that played with them that were from around here.
That's what I heard. That's
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of Greg Allman, and this goes to my topic. To me, like I said, he got me as a kid because I knew who they were before I really heard the hits. I mean, I just heard them. I listened to it,
Mm.
but I remember this kick-ass looking dude, with the long hair and big old mustache, all fluffy and shit, and him and his brother, and but The Voice came out, and that dude was a rock star.
Yeah.
So that goes into what my topic that I want to bring to the discussion is, who are the rock stars of 2023?
Rihanna.
I mean, but rock stars, that's what it is. I guess there are none. Am I right? Because all the other rock stars that existed, those are the rock stars that have been around. Like when I was a kid, like Hetfield.
Well, Pink is still around. I consider her.
How dare you? Rock stars we're talking about.
Pink's a rock star.
I'm gonna show my age here. So a couple years back, a friend of mine said he was taking his daughter to see this band, and I think they were living in up north, like Illinois or something. Anyway, he said, yeah, we had a hard time getting tickets. We barely scored it, and we're going. She's pumped, right? He said it's the biggest tour of the summer. And I went, cool. And so he starts posting pics of it, and it's two guys. In an arena full of people, it's just two dudes on stage. Man, I'm gonna show my age here. I'm not even sure what I was watching or listening to, but they were called 21 Pilots.
Wow.
Right?
They have a couple of.
Yeah. They're when I hear two guys, I'm thinking like the Royal Blood.
Yeah.
Yes, Royal Blood kills it.
Right? I'm the
Yes.
White Stripes.
Yes.
They weren't that, but they were. It was cool. But I guess our frame of reference for a rock star is different than what
That's the
2023
deal.
rock star
But
is.
here's the deal. I know there's crap loads, nothing bad, crap loads of metal bands.
Yeah.
And as far as we're talking rock, there's crap load of metal bands, but I'm talking about new guys. And the guys that did like Led Zeppelin, those guys aren't new anymore. I mean, like right now, who are the new dudes that are really rocking?
Green Van Fleet.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, not those guys. They don't. They've been around too long. Well, maybe you know what? They are the new guys. So, is that Led Zeppelin cover band? Are they the rock stars of
highly
today?
influenced?
No.
They are not the rock
No.
stars. Okay,
No. I'm kind of like you. I'm hoping for something before I
Yes.
get too old to even turn the TV on by myself.
I mean, James Hetfield, rock star.
Okay.
He's an old dude.
He's an old cat.
He doesn't count. I mean, yeah, of course he counts forever. But I'm talking about like new rock stars. Where are the James Hetfield dudes at?
It's not happening.
Even the Ben Sevenfold guys, badass. They're rock stars, but they're old hat. They haven't had an album in years.
No.
So those guys aren't it. Who is it?
So, okay, go with me here for a second. Like, the biggest acts out there that are living or that are moving throughout the music business in the way that rock stars like that we watched, right? It's like, you know who Lainey Wilson is?
Yeah.
That's the biggest 2022, 2023.
Explain, please.
She's a country singer.
She was featured on Yellowstone.
There you
and
go.
The rest,
There you go. That's how rock stars are made now. It's like,
the blurb. Of,
Well,
but she's talented though.
she's talented.
She's really talented.
did
Very
Kanye get it right when he said that rap or hip hop is the new rock, and he's the biggest rock star of them all?
No.
No.
That fella's crazy.
Is he crazy?
He's
Super
crazy.
fun.
I think he's crazy like a fox,
Man, maybe.
and a little bit crazy, a little bit both.
I mean, I don't know enough about
But-
Kanye,
but-
but
I don't know how you would
here's
mess
the
it
deal,
up
though.
with Kim.
Hip hop's all over country. Hip hop's all over pop.
right.
Hip hop's all over. It's all over television, all over the internet, everywhere. It is what it is.
Right.
Is that? I mean, in the '70s, rock was besides disco. That was the fad. Rock was always still the concrete or the big rock of music. It was rock was rock.
Well, that stuff.
Where's it at now?
Well, that stuff would have been on 97 FM.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
That's, you know what I mean? We only saw like a little sliver of that.
Right.
you
And
know,
I
in
should
the
have said
80s.
'80s because I was born in the '70s.
Yeah,
I
in
listened,
the
I listened
80s.
to that kind of music then.
But by like the late 90s, there was fewer and fewer rock bands on radio, and not like in the
Well,
last.
no, grunge was huge.
But I mean
though.
in the late '90s.
late '90s, I got you. Okay.
When that came
I was
to a
heavy in the
close-
country in Tejano then, so I don't know.
The great thing is during COVID and all this hard times, all these rock stars sold off all their music, so they're broke. They'll all be touring this summer, I'm sure.
So
Well, you know what? True that though. That being said, that's for real though, because people have been getting resurgence. Like
Yep.
Tom Keeper is bigger than ever right now.
Man, I saw him at the Rock Rally in front of this band, and dude, he's still kicking it for
Oh,
an
yeah.
old guy, man.
Yeah.
Badass, a legitimate badass.
Yeah.
It
But
was
anyway-
almost big band. It was rock. Yeah, check it out.
Right.
Yeah, it was weird
it's crazy. I
in
mean,
a good way.
rock stars like what we saw, man, you're not gonna see it again. It's like when
I
your-
don't think you are
No,
anymore.
it's like when your dad used to look at your car and he'd go, "Yeah, that's cool. It's plastic."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
yeah, exactly.
That's where we're at now. It's like you're not gonna see a metal car. That's done.
Yeah.
A car lot full of metal cars.
it's unsafe.
So
That's what they say. It's
Yeah, we may see a band kind of filter in like Greta Van Fleet and have a little blow up, but you're talking about like a rock band that goes on a 4-album run,
right.
like what all the bands we used to listen to,
Get
right?
closer to it.
Oh, they would go on 4 or 5 album runs.
Right,
where
right.
It was just bigger than the next, man. Aerosmith, Skinner, the Rolling Stones, even Bon Jovi.
But dude, Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home came back twice. It had a resurgence years later because they were just
Yeah, it was
Well,
strange,
Dirt
right?
came out
What?
too. It had another resurgence.
Right.
'Cause Dirt came out.
Yeah.
But well, here's another thing. Now we're talking rock stars now, but now we're getting rock bands that are having computers on stage now. That's part of the band.
Yeah, with tracks.
And tracks and all that stuff. So that's really not rock and roll to me.
Man, I guess
Yeah.
it just kind of depends on what the audience is willing to accept, right? Because like,
I
you
get-
look like Rihanna.
It is what it is. She's badass, but that's not rock. But I mean,
She's a billionaire.
You know,
with a B.
we're talking about the Super Bowl here, though.
right.
Yeah.
Right. She's lip syncing,
Of course.
and she really wasn't dancing. So, but the audience, they're fine with that
Right.
because it's Rihanna. Now I'll say this. I think I say this every year. Let's just, man, let's drop the balls here and let's get Metallica on there.
Dude, let's please do
I mean-
that. AC/DC, somebody.
To old guys like us, that screams football.
You ain't
right?
kidding, dude.
The
Those
Gladiator,
guys
you know?
are so set in their ways. They're probably fucking hard to deal with in a contract.
Bring back those
situation.
Cephas. Shit.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
Dude, golly.
These
I'd
guys
love to
are
see
so
both
fucking
Cephas one more
old
time
and
around.
picky and-
so I heard a guy say that since they had Rihanna on there, he said it's because they're trying to draw women into the game.
Of course.
Right? They've got us, so we're not going to see Metallica, or any more Tom Petty's. That was a great.
Sam, tell John about that I knew it as a fight because there was a guy that I talked to on Facebook. It's a fighter that fought that night in Dallas where Metallica played. Tell him how that was.
deal.
That was cool.
That was cool.
That was
Yeah.
cool. I mean, they came out, and right off the bat, it was Master Puppets and Battery.
But it was well, it wasn't MMA. It wasn't boxing. Was it bare knuckle?
What
or
was
it-
that stuff called? Triller?
It was
Right?
Triller. No, because they were boxing in a triangle. Is that what?
Yes,
Is that
yes.
what the deal was?
Yes.
Okay, that's what it was. But a guy named Brian Vera, dude. I tried to get him on here. We couldn't work it out, but he fought that night.
Yeah, so this was 2021.
Right.
That
Somebody's
when it's on.
brother-in-law called in a favor of some sort, or they threw some major cash.
Dude,
at
No,
those
it,
dudes.
hey,
it
Triller-
had to have been.
I
But-
mean-
no, Triller's big.
Well,
Well, they were.
the whole the way they booked
They
it,
collapsed by getting too many big people.
they're done. Yeah.
No, but I think they are done because that thing that they killed themselves was just. I mean, really, of all bands, Metallica. I
Yeah.
understand it. I understand.
A
you-
couple of them checks bounced is
It-
what happened.
Man,
I wouldn't doubt
You'll
it because
bounce a
I
check.
mean you
That-
could have got a bunch of cool bands, even a new metal band, but Metallica, that was
it was
That's
the
badass
whole
with a
thing
pretty
was
penny.
kind of surreal because we saw it and we're like, Metallica's gonna be in Arlington. Usually you hear about that stuff a year in
See,
advance,
I knew about
right?
about the fights. I didn't even know Metallica was
And I'm
playing.
looking on there, and I click the date, and it sends me to the Triller website. It's like, all right, what is Triller? And then it said Metallica will be performing before
That
the
doesn't
main.
even sound real
it
to
says-
this day.
It says before the main event, and then closing the show after the main event. And I went, what? Metallica?
doesn't-
Like, man, I read
that
that,
just
thing over and
sounds-
over. And I mean, it took me walking in.
Somebody got some back end money on that shit.
And sure enough, man, like they came out and they did 3 songs before the main event.
Right, right.
That dude gets knocked out in like less than a round, and they're back on stage. You know,
yeah, that's
and
crazy.
it was crazy to see them like that. And hey, I know that a lot of people were kind of confused by the whole thing because it wasn't packed. It wasn't packed at all. So it was like, wow, you're watching Metallica.
People
in a
looking at their
bar.
there's people come see Metallica looking at their fucking tickets. Where the
Yeah.
the fuck am I at?
Oh yeah, and dude, they came on late, dude. It was like 11 o'clock before they, you know.
Yes. I mean, when do
We were
box-
hoping y'all would
Yeah,
leave.
yeah, because when do other fucking MMA or boxing matches end?
Right,
At 11,
right.
11:30, dude.
Right, but you know why I say get those guys on the Super Bowl is because they're sounding better than ever. I mean, they are on it, like on it. Nobody's dropping anything.
I know it.
Like nobody's dropping a note
They,
anywhere.
they are what the Beatles were to our folks, what Van
Yeah.
Halen was to my brother whenever they first came out. You know that or whatever.
These guys,
They are the biggest and the best metal band of all time. Yeah, Black Sabbath was what it was, but
They're
to,
innovators.
to its
yeah,
to its perfection was Metallica.
yeah.
you know, I bet it was a good reset for a lot of those guys because the lifestyle is fucking painful as hell. I mean, just
Yeah, yeah.
grueling, you know. So the break for COVID was probably if they didn't jump in the bottle or something, or
Right.
do something bad, they
Yeah.
healed.
Yeah,
They got
yeah.
their head right. They got their bodies right. You know, stuff like that.
Man,
And
if there's any band from the 70s that's still around playing, you know, that's a miracle. Because those dudes
Dude.
from the 70s were out of control.
What
man.
was his
Yeah.
name? Oh, from Foreigner, the guitar player, Mick Brown or
Mick Jones.
Mick Jones. He's barely like retiring. I mean, that dude held
yeah.
on.
Yeah.
that
That dude held
the
on.
guy singing for those. He was. I saw some video of him the other night. He is an old dude.
Lou
Oh
Gramm.
man,
Lou Gramm is.
Yeah, Lou
old.
Gramm's
he
old.
was. That dude was the epitome, and people didn't really know. Like they were known as radio guys, not they weren't known as like people didn't know who they were when they saw him, but except for him, dude.
Yeah.
He was the epitome of what a lead vocalist should look like. I mean, he was a beautiful Adonis,
Dang.
and his voice was like perfect. It's like he was like. It's funny because he was that dude. He really
To
was.
see him now, it is so weird. He's like this morphed into like.
I know. Well, he had a
um,
disease.
Oh,
he
did he?
had some kind of disease that
Oh,
got
did
him
he?
like that. Yeah,
He looked like a Danny DeVito meets.
he wasn't. He was.
Eddie Money.
They would show
Yeah.
him.
thing.
Yeah.
They would show him on the sides.
But he was hitting the note. He was hitting some of them
Yeah.
notes still, man. It was all right. It was like a corporate event or something.
I saw that.
His band was on.
Oh, yeah.
No,
His band was on. I
those
don't know who they
guys.
were. I don't even know who
Those
they were.
guys have been wanting to play for Foreigner forever because those guys aren't Foreigner guys. Those are guys that jammed Foreigner all, and they were just couldn't wait for that get that phone call.
Well, it's like Phil Collins. I just saw.
Do you know how to
the-
play Feels Like the First Time, bitch? I knew that in the '80s. Come on, now. That's what it was.
They just showed a clip of Phil Collins. He's in a chair, like on stage. He's old.
Oh,
Like,
he's
Wow.
done.
He's not
No,
doing
he's
well
done.
at all.
He did. He
He
did his
said
last show
he said he
already.
felt it coming in the air tonight too many times.
Tat out.
Too many times.
The sad thing is that he didn't stop earlier.
I know.
You
But
don't want to remember him like
here's the
that,
deal, though,
You
man.
wanted to
Yeah, yeah.
Here's the
remember him.
deal. Check this out. I think about that often. Why? Because I'm in that same situation.
You're not ready.
No, here's the deal, but no.
chair.
But what I'm saying, he's only like maybe 10, 15 years older than us.
Phil Collins?
Is he?
No,
he's like 20 years older than us.
Is he? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. But here's the deal, though.
Hey, how old
say-
is he?
Well,
Lewis.
see, no, but what I'm saying though, yeah, Lewis, check that out.
He was an old man when I was a kid.
But
he
what I-
didn't have any. He was prematurely balding, so he looked older than all of us already.
He looked like that dude, Ernest T. Bass.
72.
That's terrible, Isaac. He did.
72. Ernest T. Bass was 72.
No.
But
Ernest is he's
he
he
did
is
look,
not.
he did look like Bill
Look up
Collins.
that dude. Look up Ernest. He has got a lot more clout and accolades than you'll ever know.
But,
The best Ernest T. Bass moment ever. We'll see how down people are with Andy Griffith.
Ernest T.
Was when he was
Ernest T.
gonna
Bass.
when he
Andy
was going to
Griffith show.
marry that girl. And
Darlene.
at the minute they switched it up and they put
It was-
Barney
it was
Fife
Barney.
in the dress.
That was classic.
God
That was
Almighty.
classic.
Ernest T.
Uh,
Ernest T. Bass.
Bass.
But anyway, I forgot what the hell we were talking about.
Phil Collins.
Oh, Phil. Oh, the old cats, dude. Same thing like Merle Haggard. And like I said, we're not that old. I mean, I just turned 52 a couple of weeks ago. It's just without me doing it. I mean, I did have that time in the whole 2019 COVID thing, and where I kind of enjoyed taking the break. But now I was like, man, I need it. Now that I started playing, it's like I'm ready to start playing. It's hard to really get it out of their system. It really is. Same thing like the fighters, like the guys like Chuck Liddell, fighting, getting knocked out, and constantly doing it, but didn't want to quit because it's in his blood. It's in
Oh,
his
dude,
DNA.
I just saw that Chuck Liddell's hosting an AVN night at a. No, I mean not an AVN. It's with one of the AVN porn stars. They're gonna be at a thing in Dallas.
Don't tell me he's gonna throw down.
No,
Oh,
he's not
please.
gonna fight anything.
Please.
But there's some club in Dallas that's 35 years or 25 years they've been there, and so Liddell that's what he's doing.
Yeah, right.
You know,
So
Gonna
is he
show
the
up and make
promoter?
12G. No, he's just gonna be there.
But
Just-
they,
you get to come and party with.
But-
he's a promoter. Yeah,
yeah,
that's what
yeah.
it is,
But
promoter.
they got it's in their system. Same thing. Why Angus Young? You can't tell me those guys are they're up there in age. Angus Young and Brian Johnson still playing, dude. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, dude, Chuck
It's
Berry,
in their
Chuck Berry
blood.
played literally until he dropped. BB King too.
Oh, I saw
know?
Chuck Berry probably a year and a half before. It was in between the porn controversy and the time when he had died. When it's somewhere in between. And boy, you know what? Those notes were nasty, not in a good way. And it was crazy because his piano player was like too good. It didn't make any sense. Well, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why they would make that pair like that. But anyway,
Right.
but I was seeing Chuck Berry, the same guy.
It's Chuck Berry,
I had
man.
the same kind of guitar like he did. He was the guy that was that influenced many people. Not to mention probably most rock guitar players, but Angus Young still steals Chuck Berry's
I heard a
stuff,
guy
so.
say one time that if you play guitar, you owe more to Chuck Berry than
Oh
you'll
yeah, I
ever realize.
guarantee you, I'm stealing Chuck Berry's stuff every show I do.
He said
something.
people don't even realize it.
For
you
sure.
Know, before
Oh, I
that,
agree.
Guitar players just kind of stayed in their spot, did their thing. I mean, you imagine, dude, you're sitting there watching, and this dude takes off duck walking across, and does it like in step.
But
you know
that's
what I
the
mean?
deal. That's the difference between. That's the rock star right there.
Oh, he was.
That was a rock star. He could not only could he sing and play it, but he could show it and write it. Get out of here. And
And
he
the-
did it all. That was a rock star.
the
Those
thing-
guys, do they exist?
Well,
Every now and then.
it gets diluted, right? Because like back then, you had one channel,
I didn't
two
mean to cut you off,
channels.
John.
You know, it was limited amount of entertainment. So, I mean, think about that. The entire world's watching that. Of course he's, you know what I mean? And not, you know, if you sprinkle in the fact that it was Chuck Berry,
Yeah.
dude, that's mind-blowing stuff. The Beatles, you know, to watch the Beatles, watch Chuck Berry, Elvis. Now, I mean, you run into this. You open up your phone, and there's a 15-year-old kid shredding the guitar. and then before you can even set that down, there's another 15-year-old kid shredding it. You know,
Shit,
And
they're
then
5-year-olds now.
this guy just
Crazy.
sent me a thing of these 3 girls playing acoustic, all blonde. I think they're sisters. And immediately you were like, oh, here we go. Oh no, it's just solid. Just it'll bring tears to your eyes. But then there's like next,
Right.
you know. So I think that works against us ever seeing another rock star.
I know.
You know, stretch.
Well,
Ha- ha-
there's nothing mysterious about it anymore. You remember when we had to wait in line? First, we knew the album was coming out.
Oh, right.
Then we
right.
had to wait in line for a place to open to go get it. And then there was only so many albums in the store that you could actually get.
Oh, wow.
You know, and it was, you know, you had to get, you know, $10 from your mom. to
I was
buy
always
something.
broke, so I
Well-
recorded everybody else's stuff.
Well, it's,
I took my cassettes to people's houses.
now there weren't a whole bunch of albums that I
Right.
purchased. I did that a lot too.
Right.
But I did Diary of a Madman. I stood in line for that sumbitch.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Hell yes.
Everybody knew it was Sunday. You know, Sunday you could get everything in the store, but music, beer. It's like a Blue Law or something.
Oh yeah.
Right.
yeah.
So I went there. I'm there, and there's like 3 or 4 other kids there, and they're waiting on this thing at Eastgate Plaza in Belmead, and we're all sitting there. We're like, you can't buy the Ozzy album on Sunday. What? We're kids. We're off on Sunday. Of course, you know. So we had to wait till Monday, get the during the week. Hey. But
Yeah, it changes, right? Because like when you were a kid,
yeah, of course, you know. So we had to wait till Monday. Get the.
Oh, no, I clicked on something. That's my bad.
you know, like when you're a kid, and like you said, you're going and you're waiting in line to to get the album. You're investing in it, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, you're already putting in on it, man. When you walk away with that, it's like you're holding a treasure map or something. I mean, look, back in the day, going to Camelot Music was like going to Disneyland.
Right.
You know, that was a thing, dude. Just, you know, not even before Hastings and all that.
How about the place? How about Waterloo Records? That was a
That blew my mind.
That was the yeah. If you went back in the day, you had to go the pizza place up there on 6th Street. You had to have your old lady or your best friend drop you off real quick. 'Cause you run around the corner, and then they come
Get you
back
a couple
and
slices.
get you a couple of slices.
Right,
And
right,
you had to go to Waterloo Records. You had
Right.
to.
right.
You had to go to Waterloo Records, and sometimes you knew you were going to go. You had to plan. You had to plan the trip by save up some cash. Like I know I'm going to go buy some cool stuff.
I'm gonna walk in there with 5 used CDs. I'm gonna trade in
Right.
and a $20 bill. what can we do today?
Right. I mean, those days. That's crazy. Of course, obviously, that's never, ever going to come back ever
Never.
again.
No, I think it still exists.
Well, you know what?
With
Maybe
vinyl.
Maybe the vinyls, perhaps. Go ahead.
Yeah. With vinyl, it still exists, but you're talking about probably 12% of the people that consume music are into vinyl.
So Waterloo was
Maybe higher.
completely kaput in Austin, right?
What's that?
Waterloo's gone.
No,
gone.
I think they're still there.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my! Well, kudos to those guys.
Yeah,
Kick ass.
I mean, I may
I
be
think
wrong.
it got more popular. In the
I remember I went to go see those Lonely Boys there.
years or so.
Did you go with me?
No, I didn't. I didn't
They
catch
did
that.
an acoustic deal.
I didn't catch that.
Okay.
But I know Bromhall did a thing there not too long, and I want to say Megadeth
No way.
did something in Waterloo not too long
Well,
ago.
dude, that's an icon. That's an iconic place. Austin is an iconic city for live music. At least it was. I don't know right now. Who knows what? I mean, people know about it more than I do. But that city's iconic for sure for music, definitely. So Waterloo being what it was, I mean, I'm sure that was one of the places you would stop even if you were an out of towner like Dave Mustaine or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it
yeah.
was what it was. That and of course the Continental and Antones, and I'm sure those guys visit all that stuff. Those guys, I mean, because Austin, L.A. was L.A. New York or whatever it is, Seattle had their thing, but Texas, we had our thing for sure. We had our sound. Same thing as what's that street in Memphis?
Beale Street.
Bill Street. Same thing like that. We had 6th Street, known nationally. Probably internationally.
The coolest
I mean-
story I heard was was it U2? They played the Frank Irwin Center. This is way back in the '80s.
My dad built worked on that bitch.
Right on.
Frank Edwin
And
Center.
they get done, and before the end of the night, it's Stevie Ray Vaughan, The Edge, and Bono on stage at Antone's. Just
Wow.
I mean,
They had to go to the world renowned
Exactly.
Antones.
Exactly.
You don't go to Austin and not.
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly.
At that time.
Sammy and I went to back when it was still kicking. We went to a place in on 6th Street. Remember Sammy and some two cats from Japan. Japan.
Oh,
There were
yeah,
two
yeah,
guys. They
yeah,
were from
yeah.
Japan, playing blues just as
Playing
man,
their hearts out.
Yeah, and
dude.
they were
Golly.
loving it.
Wow.
They were playing
They're
blues in Austin, Texas. That's huge. I was huge for those guys.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Talking about U2, they're going to be the first act that they booked in that Sphere,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
new Sphere. It's like
Where at?
In
Austin?
Vegas.
no, it's in Vegas.
Oh, Vegas. Okay.
It's like 400-foot tall sphere.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
pretty cool.
It's going to be like TV screens and 360 all around that summit. It's going to be bad to the bone. But U2's the first guys that they booked in there.
You know,
Nobody likes
What-
them guys.
well, that's what I
Nobody likes
that's what I was going to ask you. And we're in this conversation with this. Were those guys? Because I know that YouTube as a band, they were a popular band, but only Bono and The Edge were the known guys. Were those guys rock stars? Were those guys rock stars or not? They were.
Yeah, yeah. So they always say I forget what the exact number is, but there's a handful of bands on planet Earth right now that are at like this level that it goes beyond countries, it goes beyond ticket sales. It's like they've gone, and it's U2, Coldplay,
Wow.
which I didn't think
really?
Coldplay was that big, but they're that big. Metallica.
Of course.
And I'm leaving one out, but it's like a pop star like Taylor Swift or somebody like that.
Right.
That are, and what I mean is currently out there doing it.
Right.
And I thought, well, the Stones, right? But the Stones aren't. They're there's a cusp there that those guys, they're maybe it's the youth thing. U2 and them are still, and Green Day was there
yeah, because
at one point.
Really, Green Day,
That flew under my radar.
like worldwide.
Worldwide.
Wow, I can see like Asia, but like people like places like Africa or even Latin
brings-
America, like
It's a
Right,
it's
no, I
a
don't know who
palatable
knows.
punk band.
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's a safe punk band.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's not your original punk band. It's not
And
your.
hey,
it's
you
not
know
your Sex
another one that
Pistols.
you probably Red Hot Chili Peppers, man.
Red Hot Chili Peppers are big too.
Those fucking guys.
Those
man.
dudes are big.
Right.
Those guys are rock stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
Every
People
guy, which is crazy, every guy except for the guitar player. The guitar player is secretly a rock star, but nobody knows who the hell he is. It's everybody else. It's of course the singer and Flea and what's the guitar player, the drummer's name?
Chad Smith.
Chad Smith.
Yeah.
Those guys are the rock stars. The guitar player's a beast.
Yeah.
A beast.
So,
is
what
what
are
it
the
is.
odds you see in our lifetime, right? Another U2, Metallica, or Chili Peppers?
Man, Metallica. That's man. We could have had it. We could have had it if Avenged Sevenfold would have really stayed with it, but something. But I guess I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They lost their momentum. They hadn't put out an album in a long time. They were getting to where they were almost pop metal.
Right.
They were just like people knew who they were because they wrote
Right.
good songs. They were not to be denied.
Right.
And but of course they hadn't put out an album in a long time. You know who knows? But
Yeah, I
but
think
Metallica, those are the hugest shoes to fill ever.
the only artists I've seen that are getting close to a stretch like that, they're hip hop guys.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, those cats. They're young guys, but you kind of sit back and look, and it's like, wow, I first heard of Kendrick Lamar like 15 years ago, and that dude's huge, man. He's huge.
We do not understand that music.
I know, and I was a West
It's
Coast.
marketing. It's just
I was a West
freaking
Coast
marketing.
fan. I was a
before
West
it's
Coast
music.
fan. All my favorite rappers, besides Biggie, all my favorite rappers were West Coast, and so I'm, of course, after Tupac, that was it anyway, though. But still, I gave it a shot. He was a popular guy, a West Coast guy. Not my thing. That bug's here because of Lewis. Thank you, Lewis.
Was you rolling in your 6'5" in Marlin?
What's that? I don't know.
Smoking,
I had an 8.5.
sipping on
but that-
gin
that-
and
but-
juice, baby.
But that was
back.
that, you know, as far as we're talking rock stars on the West Coast. He's a West Coaster. Kendrick Lamar's a West Coast. I gave
Is
it,
he really?
I gave it
I
a
don't-
shot. It was not my cup of tea.
So Dr. Dre produced that, right?
Probably.
I think he
wouldn't
did.
doubt
The
it. He's a
first
West
couple.
Coaster, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Now in country music, man, there's a lot of artists that are big that we've never heard. You know, they're not. You don't hear them, but like there's a cat named Tyler Childers.
Mhm.
You ever heard of that guy?
He's been around.
Dude, he's
for a
blowing
while.
up, and that dude's good.
Yeah.
Like he's really, he writes.
Storyteller.
How
real
about
stuff.
Jelly
Yeah.
Roll?
Who's that?
Jelly Roll.
You know,
He's becoming-
He reminds
he's-
me too much of the Kid Rock stuff thing.
I think it's
And
kind of like
just-
let's see what the third Jelly Roll
But
album
before-
sounds
Let me
like.
but-
tell you about. Let me say, I saw him on Grand Ole Opry, and the man has immense respect for music.
He does.
He has immense respect for country, rap, and rock, and that impressed me because of the way he spoke of it. And then the songs that really touched him was not the songs you expected from him, and it was very. Check that out on.
He
the Grand Ole
did
Opry.
that song. I just fell out of a cottonwood tree.
Gotcha.
Who did that song? Who
I
was
don't
that
know.
dude? Killed it. Did a great job of it.
I want to say like Keith
Oh,
Whitley, that status.
It was
guy.
Craig Morgan.
Craig Morgan. Dude, Craig Morgan's.
Oh, he did
I dig
Craig
the
Morgan.
shit out of his music.
Yeah,
dude.
he's cool. He's
I'm a
cool,
Craig
too.
Morgan fan, but
I
anyway,
thought you like that butterfly kisses.
no, is that him?
No, I don't
No,
know.
that was some. That was a Christian guy. Lewis, what you
No,
got, my
that was
friend?
something-
Hey, I'm gonna ask y'all something before.
Hold on, go ahead,
before
go ahead.
Lewis. So, kind of unrelated to the rock star thing. Let's look at this. So we all saw Whitney Houston, right? I mean, we were too young for Aretha when that was all going on,
Right.
and Tina Turner and all that. But we saw Whitney Houston in real time, right? Is there anybody out there, as far as a female vocalist, that's close to that?
Well, until I saw some weird shit with old Lady Gaga,
There's no more.
Good.
Yeah,
She's pretty damn good. She's a rock star girl.
Right.
She's kind of confused a little bit about what
But-
people
but-
want to see, but she can kill
Yeah.
it.
Right.
she can.
Uh,
She's not. I tell you what. The closest we got were, of course, were
soul.
Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston.
Okay.
Those were
Yeah.
those were the last ones. Mariah's still around. Is she relevant? That's the question. No, the answer is no. She's not that relevant for the new people. As far as from what I see.
Yeah.
But the people that do have those nuts, I do not know who they are because we would have, at least the older people would have known by now. You know, we're in the dark a lot of times because I'll tell you what, I don't listen to a lot of music, but if you hear enough names, of course you're going to YouTube or to Spotify. Who the hell are they talking about? Sometimes you like something, sometimes you don't. I tell you what, one time I'm not that big of a fan. I'm not a fan at all, but I listen to that dude Tekashi 69. He's already an old hat, but whatever. I got it. It's like, you know what? Okay, he's got skills, you know. But with these guys, I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is like I would have known already. I know that I can't think of Ariana, I guess, whatever the hell her name is. I guess she's probably like that. I think that's the one. I think
They
that's
get close, right? And the
Ariana
reason
Grande, is that her name?
the reason I'm saying that
I
is
think
like
that's the one right now.
you go watch some clips of Whitney Houston. The first thing you're gonna notice is there's nothing else on stage with her. There's no props. There's no screen.
Just them vocals.
It's just vocals
Woo!
and floor
A little bit of reverb,
Oh.
and that's it.
floor wedges.
Yes.
No in-ears. Yeah, the
Golly.
only
Yeah, no in-ears. Man, what the hell?
the
Man,
only
lying.
bit of like high technology that she had was a wireless mic.
That's it.
That was it, right? No
No,
in-ears,
no auto tune.
no tracks.
No,
No.
oh my gosh, you ain't lying. Nobody behind stage trying to hit her high parts.
Yeah.
Who's gonna hit them high parts on,
And-
on those?
I don't know, but I need one of them.
And
Who wants to
and
do
you
my
know
high
that
part
there
now?
has to be, and I said female vocalist, but there has to be a vocalist,
Well, I'm thinking
whatever
so.
gender, that's out there right now doing that. We just don't know it.
There's a few, and it's and who was the other person I was thinking? Your Adele's, those people.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Your
Yeah. She's building it.
Yeah.
She's got that thing where she's touching everything and it's turning
Yeah.
to gold.
I tell you what I liked about Adele when she first came out was
But that style, that
Right.
thing that's happening there, kind of the retro-ish, something.
I like the fact that whenever she first came out, you know, she's already been in the game for a whole minute, but I like the fact she used real instruments when she came out.
Right, right.
I dug that. It's like, okay, that's real.
Yeah,
that's real.
she's touching on it because, like,
Yeah.
every Adele album, every Adele tour, it's a thing, you know. And for you're right. Out of all the people I've seen, that's leaning in that
I don't know,
direction.
I can't believe I didn't even think of this. What about fucking Bonnie Raitt? She just won.
Hey, dude,
Oh,
that's
there you go.
awesome. That's awesome.
What, the Grammy for
Yeah.
best song?
Yeah,
Badass.
I forget who she beat out.
Over like all those,
Yep,
Badass.
and no one knew anything.
yep.
Did you know that song was actually a decent song? I listened
Yeah,
to it. It's
yeah.
actually a decent song.
What were y'all thoughts on Stapleton Super Bowl? I thought he killed it. I'm biased because I'm a fan. I thought badass.
I thought it was great. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad that he kind of went. He didn't go too far out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like sometimes you see people, you've seen artists get up there and do the anthem, and it's like 1:15, and they've only sang 2 lines.
But he
Right.
put
You know.
that soul into it, and boy,
He gave you what you expect from Chris
but
Stapleton.
can you imagine?
100%.
Yeah.
You didn't. There was nothing scary, weird, or
So-
crazy turns or anything.
Here's what I'm glad you said that. Here's what I was gonna get, and like I said, we're old guys, right? At this point, we're doing exactly what our parents did, which was like everything's a comparison, right? You know, like back in my day, you know, we watched Car 54 and we were happy. You're complaining because you have 13 channels, you're right. But let me say this about Stapleton. I believe that Stapleton is this generation's Willie Nelson.
There you go.
Yep.
I back that up.
Well, I can tell you this: he's been around long enough that there's and I stole this word from Idol last night. There's some kids coming up that they're the disciples of Chris Stapleton. They're
Oh, yeah.
fixing to come through, and
Oh,
these
yeah.
guys are freaking better than
Sure.
Stapleton.
But it took somebody like Stapleton
That means
to
our
bring
music's
to
gonna
bring
go
them
back.
people out.
Yeah.
Our music's going to probably curve a little bit more to Americana and less rock, hopefully less pop.
You know,
for this
you know,
Yeah.
7-second junk music.
and we need people. I like people like
Island Boy.
I like people like Stapleton because he reminds me, kind of, sort of Merle Haggard esque. Not the way it's done, but Merle Haggard has had that he has the most identifiable voice in country music for me because I'm just a big fan. He writes his songs, he plays his guitar, wears the hat, Merle Haggard esque, but he brings it every time. Merle Haggard always brought it. Even,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Even a buzz slightly high on black pills of Merle Haggard, still, you know, he brought it. My boy
Man, you
brought
know
it.
what's crazy is like they were talking to Marty Stewart's guitar player, and they go out on tour with Stapleton, right? Not they toured with Stapleton. He just kind of calls them up and is like, "Hey, y'all want to do a couple 3-week run or whatever?"
I thought you were
Wanna
going to say
go-
bumps. It's like, how dare you, Sammy?
No, sir. No, sir. They don't bump. But anyway, He said, yeah, man, it's great. You know, like he'll just call us and tell us like, hey, in a month, can you guys do 3 weeks? Okay. Right? Number one, big tours don't run that way. Everything's planned to the second.
Right.
So he's keeping it pretty loose. The second thing he said was, he shows up and he's like, hey, you can set up over there. He's like, the steel player is not going to be here tonight, but he'll be here at the end of the week. And he went, what? He said, well,
Wow.
he goes, yeah, you know, like he had something to do, so he'll be here in a couple days. Number two, no bands function that way, right? It's like you're going to be here for these next 6
Right.
weeks, you know. But Stapleton, when I heard that, I was like, oh, so he's savvy.
Yeah.
You know, he just knows, man. Like,
Well,
it's the music, right?
Yeah.
Let's throw it out there. And like we were talking about, you know, what comes out of the speakers, that's the end result, right? Stapleton's like, man, those people are here.
Yeah.
It wasn't a deal breaker that the steel player wasn't here. You know, it's bigger than that.
And at the same time, like John said, he gives the people what they want.
He gives them what they want.
They come and see Chris Stapleton, and he brings Chris Stapleton with him. That, you know,
Yeah,
home run every time.
When he did the anthem, he did the right runs in exactly the right spot, and then he got out of there.
Talk about a pressure cooker spot.
Yeah.
Oh my, because dude, it looked to me as a musician that he was singing and playing.
Yeah. By himself.
Oh
Just
my, see the no tracks.
no tracks.
And,
He's the
and,
track.
and let me tell you, the way he was playing the guitar, you have to be a good guitar player to play that.
Yeah.
And you got to be clean. And
Yeah.
if you're not clean, everybody's gonna know.
right.
And
right.
he was to do that and to sing that soulful as he did. I mean, that talking about sounds cliche, but talking about he really is a master at what he does.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What he does beat that. Somebody, it's gonna be hard to do.
Who were it was Stapleton, Rihanna. Who was when there another?
No, just those
It
two.
was just those two.
It was the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, you know what? Somebody did that.
Yeah, they did a couple more.
Oh, they did the African or the other anthem. They did the other anthem.
What you got,
Who was
Lewis?
that?
I don't know who the hell that was. He did the. I don't know who the hell did that.
Oh, Babyface.
Oh, that's
oh,
right.
Babyface.
That's right.
Babyface.
Yeah.
What you got, Lewis? Anything?
Madonna's older brother passed away.
I didn't know she
Yeah,
had
she's about 70, so that would make him about 75.
Yeah, like if you look at Madonna's older music videos, you can see him like as a backup dancer.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
That sucks, then, man. Man, that sucks anyway for anything, but still, you know, because you know they had you know ties together doing that performing, dude. I'm sure that's you know.
Do you remember Madonna's sister calling into Howard Stern
No.
back in the day? You don't
I
remember that?
I never knew she had a sister either.
Dude, it was like a 3-week thing where she was
No way.
she convinced Gary she was Madonna's sister.
Oh shit.
But she was just a crazy lady.
What else you got, Lewis?
Paul McCartney and the Rolling Stones are set to collab.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
I'm excited about that.
Hey, wait on 1 second, my friend. Show the folks right there what you got right there, right next to that guitar. Tell me about that guitar you right there next to you. Tell me about it.
Well, I think it's at a pawn shop for $60.
What is that?
It's a Jasmine made in the Philippines. It plays really well. Original this week.
So that was made in some kind of those child slave factories is what you're telling me in the Philippines?
They don't like calling it that.
Oh, okay. Okay, dude, that's badass, brother.
What's so funny is that this was started out as $300, but nobody bought it for like a year and a half. So
I can guarantee you Daryl Ray played that thing.
the same pawn shop that I was going to, they told me like, yeah, nobody's been.
He's probably set the strings on that one too.
Yeah, you know what? I guarantee you.
He knew about
I
it.
guarantee.
He just didn't need it. I think he might have fell asleep on that.
Right. I think the reason why it's $100 because Daryl talked it down to it. He's good at that. That's about
That
as
thing ain't
good.
worth nothing. I'll be back to get it next week.
That's about as good.
There's another guitar that I want to get. It's a light guitar and it was by Keith Urban. It plays just.
Don't, brother. Listen to me. Listen to the words that are coming out of my mouth.
Stanger.
Listen to me. Anything by Esteban or
There you go.
or Keith Urban. I'm a big Keith Urban fan. Do not buy those guitars, brother. Too much hassle, not worth it at all. I'm telling you, it's a headache. Dude, if I were you, brother, let me tell you, if I were you, with that cash, I would probably get into like Zounds or American Music Supply, and you can get the instrument, and no, you can get the instrument and pay it in payments, but you'll get the instrument like a couple days later, and that helps build your credit, brother. But let me tell you, it's better. It's better than that pawn shop stuff, brother. You're wasting money on that guitar, brother. The Keith Urban guitar, it's only thing it's good for is kindling. Let me tell you, brother. It's not even good. Sam, do you still teach anymore, Sam?
Yeah.
Okay. I used to teach a long time ago. I started since I was 18 teaching, and if parents only knew, the term student guitar, they go get them a cheap guitar. That doesn't mean student guitar. You got to get something playable. And that guitar right there is probably maybe for students, but probably that's about it, brother. And you're too good of a guitar player for that.
You mean to tell me that I got a kid's guitar?
No, the Keith Urban one, brother.
Keith Urban.
Yeah, stay away from that one and Esteban.
And on that
Coda.
and on that note, what pawn shop was it at?
It was an acoustic, right, bro?
It's an acoustic.
Yeah, stay away from it. Matter of fact, if you can go over there, purchase it, take it to the parking lot and break it, and save some kids some time.
Call the cops.
What else you got? What else you got, brother?
Call Daryl first.
Rick Nash is announcing his 7-year solo album.
That's who passed
Okay.
also the other day.
Oh yeah, David Crosby.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Didn't he have Rosie O'Donnell's love child or something?
No.
I don't know.
Who
He
was it?
He had Melissa Etheridge and
Yes.
Lou Diamond Phillips' ex-wife's love child.
Yes.
Wow.
He was the donor.
He was the donor.
And I think he ended up being a good little singer and shit, and almost kind of looked like him still.
Really? Like Lou Diamond?
No.
I mean, like
other dude.
David Crosby.
He was-
Right on.
Lou Diamond was not there unless
That's right.
the news reports
I'm
were
bad at
wrong.
math.
He was the Ron Jeremy of that kind of music, I think.
What the
Well, he looked.
Ron
He looked like him.
Did you ever see the pictures of him when he went to prison in Huntsville?
I never have. Please bring those up, Lewis. Come on.
They shaved him and chopped all his stuff off. Like no
Really?
mustache, no hair. It's
David Crosby. What's the title, Sam? David Crosby,
David Crosby,
Prison Pictures.
prison pictures.
Mugshot.
Yeah, mugshot.
No, prison pictures.
Prison
Like
Pictures.
when they released him.
Did y'all ever jam with those guys? That was, I can tell you, my sisters had tons of albums, and that was one of them.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
And I dug it.
Yeah.
It was not my jam, but I mean, it was music to listen to. I definitely dug the
It's kind of like
harmonies.
Simon and Garfunkel, right?
I was
Like,
never into those guys.
You know who's doing the parts? I could never figure out what part Crosby was actually doing.
it's crazy.
It was like,
Hey, and who would have ever thought that somebody would say, you know what would make this band better?
Oh, my
Neil
gosh.
Young.
Neil Young.
a deaf
Damn good
SOB.
songwriter.
Oh my
No,
God.
he already had a fucking badass house in Hawaii and was bringing all the
great.
people there. I mean, I think
Keep
lived in
on
Hawaii back
rocking
then.
in a free world. I was not a big fan of that dude. I was not a big fan of that. What else you got, Lewis, besides finding that thing? Go ahead now. What else you got, brother?
Let's see. Paramore has finally got an album of the year.
Do you know who they are, Sam?
I'm old.
Huh?
It's a darling
I
little
thought it was,
redhead.
I thought it was
Hey,
a bank.
You got three.
She is a singing
You got.
mofo.
I will listen tonight.
Paramore, she's a cute little redhead.
So you know who Paramore
good.
is?
Yes.
Okay, explain them to me. I have no idea who they are.
She has a.
So her name is Paramore.
It's in between. I think the group is.
It's a group.
They're in between like a Flyleaf
Okay.
and almost a
Christian rock-ish
Okay.
type band. Very big voice. Really small package, very big voice.
Are they considered rock stars of today? Them and Flyleaf
I'm
and
sure there's a whole bunch of girls that wish they could be her.
how about the other? What's the other girl? I mean, like I said, I'm an older dude.
Evanescence.
Not Evanescence. The other one, Hellstorm.
Hailstorm.
Are
She's a
they-
beast.
Oh, yeah.
Are those
yeah.
are those rock
Yeah.
stars?
She's a fucking beast.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's,
That they are rock stars,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
She's a
forgot
rock
about
star.
her.
and they are right now. They are what's happening.
Lizzie
right now.
Yeah,
Hale. Right.
Lizzie Hale,
She's
yeah.
great.
Killer.
You want to watch something cool? Look at Lizzie Hale singing with Sebastian Bach.
Yeah, she did Skid Row.
Oh,
I think she
really?
did the whole,
nuts.
I think she did the whole album with just
Wow.
a couple.
I can't remember. But
She did Youth Gone Wild.
Youth Gone Wild.
Youth Gone Wild, yeah. Fucking nailed it,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Lewis.
All right. Roger Waters has re-recorded Dark Side of the Moon without the help of David Gilmour or
Who?
Roger Waters.
I don't remember that. Never heard.
Who did
never
you
heard
hire
the
for
name.
the guitar?
Don't say bad names in here.
Was it re-recorded or mastered?
re-recorded.
Re-recorded. That is a waste of fucking money. Okay, next.
He's never gonna get over that.
He got kicked. Did he got kicked
I
out?
think
right?
so, right? And just
He
get,
tried to take. He tried to perform under the Pink Floyd name, but David Gilmour and the rest of the crew were like, no. You're
David Gilmour is Pink Floyd.
both of them are.
I mean, he really is. I mean,
Is it
John, who's the keyboard player for Pink Floyd?
Richard Wright, but he
Richard
passed
Wright.
away.
Oh, who's the drummer for Pink Floyd?
couldn't
Exactly.
tell you.
Nick Mason.
David Gilmour is Pink. I mean, what
You
can I
gotta have
say?
Roger Waters for the.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you gotta have Roger Waters.
And it sounds like
hey,
someone-
you
Yeah,
gotta
it's-
have him for that. For
Well,
sure.
painful.
It's like the brain and the voice.
Yep, there we go.
You know,
Well said.
It's the
Well
Stones.
said.
It's the Stones, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Keith Richards, but nobody can sing Keith Richards songs like Mick Jagger. You know, I don't know if I do Lennon and McCartney, but
John, you know what song I'd like to do with the Stones? There was a song, let me think, maybe 15 years ago when it was called Don't Stop,
oh,
Baby,
yeah.
Don't Stop. You remember that one? It was a Rolling Stones tune.
Never heard
Kick
It was all right.
ass,
It was all right.
kick
I'll
ass
have to
tune.
listen to it.
What you got, Louis? Got anything else? How many you got, brother?
There is an Ozzy Osbourne and Steve Vai album that has been shelved for years.
I saw
That's
that.
what? Okay, repeat that again.
Steve Vai.
Steve Vai and Ozzy Osbourne made an album, but it's never been released.
No way.
Let's hear it.
Wow. Now when was this made?
Sometime during the 80s.
Wow, indeed, Steve Vai in the 80s. I
Do
mean,
they remember doing it?
Steve Vai
does. He said
Steve Vai has always been sober, right?
I think so, but
He just been an asshole.
that. Hey, dude,
Well, you know,
I'll tell anybody that Steve
tit
Vai,
for tat.
Steve Vai and Whitesnake was mean,
Oh my gosh,
dude.
golly, that was yes.
That
I
was
agree
a-
with
That was a hell of a fucking show.
son of a
That was
bitch.
a hell of a show. I also saw Steve Vai with David Lee Roth.
Oh wow,
Oh, yeah.
wow.
That
Dude,
was fucking badass.
The band that I missed out that will never ever ever happen was Whitesnake with John Sykes. That,
Oh yeah.
gosh, what a
He was the
masterpiece!
original guitarist. Was he
I don't
the-
know who the original one was.
It was Bernie
but-
Mattson.
But he was the one.
Marston.
He was the in Still of the Night, Here I Go Again guy. Only he was not in the videos.
Who was the other singer for Whitesnake for a while?
Oh wow!
Or who was the guy that sounds Badlands?
Oh,
Ray
yeah, that was
Gillen.
different. Yeah, that
Ray
was
Gillen.
that was a whole
Did
other.
they do something with
He died of
Snake?
AIDS. He died of AIDS,
He
and
came- he came to Waco and
no way.
he was in Waco. I want to say he knew Jimbo Ward and those guys.
That's one of my favorite bands of all time.
and he ended up-
Probably, man. I want to say maybe even top 5 or top 10 for sure. There's so many good ones. But that was. What can I
can't
say?
remember- man, I
Badlands
can't
is the
remember
best.
who it was, but yeah, it was. They
Lewis, you got any?
knew him from Dallas or some shit.
You got any Megadeth news on there?
Nope.
Well,
You
let
have
me-
any
let me-
Megadeth?
I have some Megadeth
Okay.
news. I don't know if you guys saw it this past weekend in Japan.
Oh, Marty Freeman.
Marty Friedman jammed it up with Megadeth.
Really?
Golly,
Wow.
dude, it was so good.
Hmm.
So
Let me
good.
tell you, I heard Megadeth's new guitar player. He ain't no Marty Friedman.
No, and he was standing right next to Marty Friedman, and it sounded like they'd been playing together forever.
Wow.
It was great, dude. Great, great,
I shouldn't be so shallow, but I heard that his present guitar player play that one Indian
Holy
style
Wars.
piece on Holy Wars. It was-
Nobody will ever get it.
I was like,
That-
you
Chris-
that's how I
Yeah.
judge you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. This is what it
The
is.
guy before this guy, that was his name Chris Broderick, Beast, right?
Oh my God.
He got close.
Yes.
He got really close.
What a great badass guitar
Yeah.
player he is. What a great guitar
That's a
player.
shame,
Why
though,
was it so
right?
hard to reproduce the?
I don't
Oh,
know.
it's just crazy.
I don't know.
Huh.
It's just crazy.
Marty Friedman, dude. Marty Friedman was in a band called. It was a duo called Company, with him and forget his name, Sammy.
Oh, Jason Becker.
Jason Becker.
Nuts.
And as great as Marty
Like,
Friedman, as great as Marty Friedman,
Yes.
You remember him?
That's
Remember
him.
Jason Becker? That's
He
right.
played on the David Lee Roth album, and he had to quit
Yeah,
before
yeah.
the tour.
As
Yeah,
great
yeah,
as
right.
great as Marty Friedman was, or even was, whatever back then, he always said he was never close to Jason Becker. He
Yeah.
was just
That was a shame. I pulled
Gosh,
up some. That would be a great biopic.
The Jason Becker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
That would be a
He's
great
still
one.
alive today, I believe.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well,
Yeah, he's still alive.
he is in bad shape.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Because the last
it's
few
a
things,
tragedy what had happened to him.
it's
Yeah.
it's horrible, man. It's
It really is.
it's a
It is, but man,
terrible.
while,
thing.
while he was alive, the whole just I recommend everybody check this out. Where he's at the small bar or club, excuse me, playing with his left hand and yo-yoing with his right
Yeah,
hand,
yeah.
and ripping it up. What a master that dude
I went
was,
back
man.
to see some of his 11, 12-year-old back in.
It's crazy.
He was in high school or
Yeah.
grade school.
Yeah.
12 years old.
Gosh,
Or-
dang it,
yeah.
really.
Dude, look at those videos like of young Jason Becker, Paul Gilbert, and Richie Kotzen.
Shit.
Oh my
These are
God,
teenagers,
yes.
dude, and they were
I remember-
insane.
I remember when they all remember that time.
Yeah.
There's gonna be some. There's some
Golly.
coming up, dude.
That-
There's some coming up.
There's Vinnie Moore Jr.
Back in the
Yeah.
day,
There's
for a
some
guitar
coming up.
player to want to come out in Guitar Magazine, but to have an album was a
Right,
big deal.
right.
That was to get a record. It was always a small independent record
One of the next,
label that got because you get an instrumental.
What was the cat that always?
But that was the deal. That was a
the
big
Guitar
deal.
Method. Remember that guy?
Oh yeah, Nighthawk, something Hawk.
Golly,
Hawk. There was Hawk, something Hawk.
Doug Marks.
Doug Marks. That was
Doug Marks.
yes.
Doug Marks.
Yes. What you got, Lou?
All right, let's see. I got a whole list right here. So, oh yeah, Sting is awarded Fellowship of the Academy at Ivers. So he's
What does that mean?
I think he's like inducted into kind of like a academic something.
Oh, really? I'm just
Of Hogwarts.
that. You know what? That was a rock star.
Oh yeah.
That was
yeah.
he was one of those guys that he had to get out of the police. I mean, because he was
Sure.
just too iconic. I mean, that was Sting.
Yeah.
That voice was not the best voice
What do you think of-
technically, but it was so iconic, identifiable, and he could write the hits. And it was what are you gonna say,
Well,
John?
what do you when you think of Sting? What do you think of?
I think of a badass. I mean,
I
I
mean-
think of a rock star. I think of rock and roll royalty, probably.
I can't get Karma Sutra out of my head.
I think of Roxanne. The minute I hear the name Sting, I just hear Roxanne.
Roxanne.
Yeah.
Sung by Eddie Murphy.
Hell yeah,
He's
dude.
pulling himself
Yeah, I mean,
around.
Yeah.
all of those songs, "Message in the Bottle" and all that stuff, it just was badass. Every breath you take, even that song was just like his biggest hit. Every breath you take. But
Oh,
it was-
synchronicities,
it was-
all that
oh
stuff,
my
man.
God!
Wrapped around your finger. How they filmed it.
What
did they do?
Circle
So,
around your heart.
Wrapped around your finger was the candles, right? Where
Yeah.
They were so they filmed it.
No, that was synchronicity.
No, it was wrapped around your finger.
Was it?
Remember where he's walking and it's got the zillion
Oh,
candles.
I guess
And
so.
he
Yeah,
burns the shit out of himself at the very end because he goes,
So what was it? They like
waves his hand, one hand like that.
they filmed it in like slow motion, and when they sped it up, it did that effect.
It was that
Right.
new
Okay.
camera
Yep,
effect. It was
yep.
that slow, fast motion shit, like the cards in
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
excess.
yeah.
Yeah, it was that. And thank God that went
You
away.
ever think they'll make a movie about Michael Hutchins from NXS?
That would be a cool one. That'd be cool.
I don't know,
There'd be
dude.
a lot
Was
of-
he that big? I don't know if he was that big.
He was going to be very big.
Yeah, yeah.
He was going to be very
Yeah.
big.
But he was you know what? If anyone,
He was almost like your guy from the Doors, you know.
I thought he was I thought he'd be a shoo-in to play Jim Morrison.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminded me.
I
of,
need you tonight, 'cause I ain't sleeping.
I would definitely do some of that.
What you got, Liz?
The Osprey's coming up with a new
Oh.
album soon.
Hey, dude. I'm sorry, dude. I dug those dudes a little
You
bit.
liked them?
They were all right. You gotta keep it separated. Oh, do that one that Michael Bisping would do. What song was that Michael Bisping would jump out? What song was that? But I was a Michael Bisping fan, but I forget he'd come out with an Offspring.
Did he really?
song. Yeah, I mean, they're a British band.
Are they
so-
the pretty fly for a white
Yeah.
guy? Is that them?
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And we've got Metallica teasing new songs on TikTok.
They got what?
I saw that.
Say that again, Lewis.
Metallica is teasing new songs on TikTok.
Dude, I saw them doing a Zoom thing the other day.
Yeah.
That was bad. Let me ask you, how was that to where they're able to do that and the latency be that?
They have the special Metallica T1000
Well, what is it? I mean, is that-
fiber optic, you know.
so what is that?
They run
basically?
I don't
cable
know.
all the way from.
For real.
I mean, but
From Denmark.
I see people do that all the time. And what is it that I'm missing?
I was geeking out, man. I had that screen spread out. Like, what do they have on their interview? You know, what is it they're recording into? Because they just had regular guitar amps, but there was no mic in front of them. You know, so what's going on there? Can I come hang out?
I know, dude,
Have you seen those mics that kind of record the from the audience? They're kind
yeah,
of
yeah,
crazy
yeah.
looking and they're handheld.
Yeah, it's to send the ambience into the in ears, so it doesn't sound like you're in a closet.
Oh, is that what
You hear you can hear the
Oh,
room.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was wondering what the heck that was.
What you got, Lewis?
Let's see. The Manfreds announced a 16th anniversary tour.
Who?
The Manfreds.
I don't know them.
They're composed of former members of Manfred Mann.
Don't know them. Move
I
on.
was blinded by the night.
Oh, is that him?
You wrapped up with like a douche.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen wrote it, right? And then
Really?
Manfred Mann recorded
He
it.
kept messing. Yeah. that was-
Yes.
Hey, that was good.
And I believe that's it for now.
Is that it? Sammy.
Yes.
Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
went off
Oh.
the whole time without bringing up Cocaine Bear.
Dude, I've heard the story.
It's the
Th-
biggest-
I have not.
it's the biggest
Explain this
thing.
to me.
There's a story. I heard it real quick on. There's a guy.
All right.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
We talked about this today. So this guy's flying over the Scatahoochee or Chattahoochee.
Chattahoochee. Yes.
He gets tweaked out.
Scatahoochee is what you get on Saturday night sometimes.
Yeah, Scatahoochee.
Scattered hoochies is Sunday morning.
Yeah. He gets tweaked out at about 20,000 feet. And he's got an airplane full of coke. So he starts chunking the
Well,
coke.
the story I heard is like no, there's cops.
This is how it started.
No, there's cops. There's cops that identified him, and he's with the co-pilot. They said, dude, we gotta fucking start fucking
Throwing
getting rid
this
of
shit out.
Yes. So they just started throwing cocaine out.
Well, he jumps out of the plane with
Yes.
15 million on his back.
the real story was two dudes, but they're having it as one guy. But the real story was with two dudes.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
but anyway,
this was what they're releasing anyway.
yeah.
But he jumps out with $15 million worth of fucking cocaine on him and lands in somebody's driveway.
Dies.
Dies. Dead on
Yes.
the doornail. And they
Yeah.
come outside and they're in the driveway. Dude's got cocaine.
The other guy. The other guy.
Did
The
he
other
have a
guy. lived.
parachute?
The
No.
parachute didn't open.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
the other guy
It's
lived.
probably 15 pounds of. Or how much is $15 million worth of cocaine?
I don't know.
It had to throw the
I don't
buoyancy
know.
off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? The dude was all of a sudden 600 pounds, and this thing is made for a 200-pound guy.
Wow.
The dude that was with him,
It's all about math.
he lived. Anyway, so I guess the story goes, I guess you find
So
the
in
part
your
about the
story,
bear.
the guy lived?
Yeah, there was 2 dudes. There was a co-pilot that his friend that went with him. He goes, dude, I got a gig. Come with me, because he was a pilot. He didn't know he was taking all this cocaine with him. He said in the middle of the flight, I got this from this podcaster called Mr. Ballin. You got to check this guy out. He's great. Anyway, there was 2 dudes, and out of nowhere he goes, he saw that there's on the radio some people talking. He figures out they're FBI. And they're right behind him. He goes, dude, we gotta fucking get. That guy didn't know what the fuck was going on. He goes, what? They started fucking chunking cocaine. He goes, oh shit. He goes, he gave him his parachute. He goes, we gotta jump out. And they jump. His parachute didn't open, and his second parachute didn't open.
Yeah.
He died. The other guy lived. Anyway, so that story happens. No, that part happens. This hunter guy. No, this guy was out there. I think he was hunting, and he fucking he stopped in mid walk, and he fucking saw fucking bears. Like fuck, he was trying not to fucking move because there's a fucking bear there, and he noticed that bear was fucking there for a long time, not moving. So while he creeped up to it, the bear was humped over. He was dead. He was dead. On the bear's lap was a bag of fucking cocaine that he was fucking munching. He fucking had an overdose.
He was munching the cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The bear overdosed in like 3 hours.
Oh.
I mean, he just
He
he's
liked
like,
They found a bear, and they have to do, when you find a bear in the wild like that, they have to do the tests on him. Apparently, this thing's dead from coke.
And
Nobody shot it. Nobody
what's crazy is they found the fucking, they found a bunch of dead strippers around there. Have no idea why. That was
Ones.
Where there's smoke.
you'll find
Molly
that
Hatchet.
cocaine. Sammy, you got any shows coming up, Sammy?
I do. We're playing an event for the Fabulous Booze Fighters this Friday with my cousins and Blue Houdini and Jimmy K. No
That's-
relation, but love him.
That's what's. He's supposed to made it tonight. He didn't make it, but I was hoping to have him maybe next time.
I sent a picture of you.
What do you guys know about AI?
I've heard about this Chat GPT.
It's just letting you know. I personally have written a novel for myself.
Get closer to the mic.
I've written a novel, which was about like 50 pages using ChatGPT. And but that's not what I want to talk about. There is another form of AI.
You're feeding it information is what you're doing. But go ahead, Lewis.
Well, anyway, there's this new AI thing that'll mimic your voice, and it'll sound like the real deal. But
It's called a recorder.
Yes, you can get that. I've heard of this. You can get that with Chad GBT and have Tupac
No, this
rap
is
Chad.
rap an album
It's the AI.
and the same
this
way
AI
to
is,
2020.
This AI is called 11 Labs.
Oh, okay,
I've heard
okay.
that.
But anyway, go ahead. So what does that do?
So it'll take your voice and it'll come up with like different things to say. You know what I'm saying?
No, give me an example.
Okay, fine, let me play something for you. Maybe y'all can hear it.
This won't get us shut down on YouTube, will it? But Sammy, explain what the Chad GBT thing is, whatever.
I've heard guys like pumping information into it, asking them to write them songs,
And it'll do it.
novels, build pedal boards.
What is that, Lou? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
That is the AI.
So hold up, let me see if I can.
So it's mimicking the president's voice. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it'll mimic your voice so perfectly well.
By the way, there's a blue van in your parking
Right,
lot.
thank you, Lewis. Not only did he bring bugs in my studio, he brought a blue van.
This program is free.
Did you have anyone a little less famous?
Wow. So people, you know what? It's gonna wind up. People are gonna wind up getting set up for all kinds of bullshit with stuff like this.
I heard an
This
argument
is just
with like where they took Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson today. They were talking about worms or something,
Yeah.
but it never happened. It was just their voice.
Did you ever hear? Did you ever
That's
hear
kinda
the
scary.
conversation Joe Rogan had with Elon Musk?
Yeah.
The way Elon Musk goes. I know it sounds very like science fiction, but it's true. He said that his biggest fear is those things getting so smart that they can't find a way to start trying to end this, because it sounds very far fetched, but it's very but it can very happen. You know, I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I have to take it with a grain of salt because he has that Neuralink that he's
which
developing,
is very
where they
sus, if
Right.
You know, God,
it goes into
please.
your brain so they can download stuff into it. I mean, wouldn't it be perfect that as AI becomes more common, they come to you and say, "Well, John, the only way to safeguard yourself against AI is to, like, put a code that locks down everything that you know into your brain where AI can't access it. It's
Oh, God.
yours, right?"
That's scary.
Exactly.
Fucking
But I
scary.
mean, you know, if you're in a world where AI is like, you know,
It's going to
they're-
be just like the shot. If you don't get this shot,
so, you know, that Neuralink thing, I mean, if they, you know, it could possibly have health benefits, right? If it tells you, hey, you're 3 hours away from a heart attack, they'll pitch it to you that way. But here's where I'm going with the Neuralink thing. Elon Musk also has Starlink, right? Which is like the spaceborne internet that they put up all over the place. I'd be kind of scared that now I have something in my brain
I know.
and he has something above me that, you know, they're on the same server. No, I'm out. You know, I mean,
But you know, that's crazy. You know,
I'll fix that AI real quick. I'm gonna just unplug my TV.
it's gonna wind up.
and I'll be
it's-
fine.
It's gonna wind up being to where it's probably already being done, where people are just lyricists, quote unquote lyricists, are having that write the lyrics for them. Because look what I come up with.
I heard a guy ask it to write a
They wrote an Eminem song.
write a chapter with the information he gave him in the style of William Shakespeare, and it was great.
Dude, check this out. I'm probably gonna have a novel by the end of the year, everybody. John, you got anything coming up, brother? And you know what? When's our next show? I forget.
It's March
Yeah.
30, it's March
30.
31st.
Yeah,
I got something real quick, John. We're gonna rehearse Thursday, and after that, I'm going to go see Eric Gales.
Well, I was trying to get the tickets for that, and I think I might have 3 extra.
Well, if you do, let me know. But I'm gonna go see Eric Gales.
So be the 14th caller for your Eric Gills ticket.
There you go, please.
Or, if you're available,
Thursday.
I have to see. Yeah.
I'm but so we'll just leave.
anyway,
I
there
talked to Brian.
Possibly will be a couple of
Brian
tickets.
said that he's probably going to go on about probably about 10. So I'll just leave practice about 8:45.
Yeah.
Something like that, and go check out Eric Gales. Do you remember that dude?
March
Whenever-
31st is the next Roaches show at Mayberry's Tavern
Oh, that's right.
in
That's
Lorena,
right. That's
Texas.
right.
Yeah.
That's
and
right.
with special guests.
But kick
Right on.
ass. Sammy, first time you heard? Because remember he's our age. Well, at least my age. He might be my age. Eric Gales. First time we heard of him.
Arsenio Hall show.
Bam! I remember that too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Woo, he tore it up. Golly.
You know, I would zip past Arsenio Hall all the time, and one night he had Stevie Ray Vaughan on there, so I became a watcher.
Oh, for sure.
Right, you know, you got Stevie Ray Vaughan,
For sure.
and Eric Gales was right around that time.
Right.
He did a Arsenio. and
God,
mind
killed
blowing,
it, dude.
Mind blowing.
Played right-handed, flipped that guitar over, and played left-handed.
What was it called? Eye of the Storm.
Oh yes.
Right.
Dude, him and
Right.
him and his brother. His brother passed.
brother,
Him and
yeah.
his brother that was in that. Golly, killing it. I was thinking about that album today. That he was just super nuts because they didn't know he was in the middle. He was blues rock, but he could shred. So they'd put him like on Headbangers Ball.
Yeah.
They didn't know where to put this dude.
Yeah.
He was very cliche, but it is what it is. He was ahead of his time.
Right.
He was playing what he plays right now. Same thing with Joe Satriani, not Satriani, excuse me. Joe Bonamassa is known for playing right now. Around that, because Joe Bonamassa
Dude.
played differently back then. He's playing. Eric Yost was playing that years ago.
Do you think we're gonna have a crowd Thursday?
I think it's going to be a good follow. He's got a good following.
It's-
I always tell people
He'll get
that-
people like from Austin and Dallas
Yeah,
and shit.
man, it was just so terrible to see Doyle play, but it was kind of cold and not get a good crowd. And then
Doyle played there?
Doyle Bramwell played.
I think he's played there twice, right?
Yeah,
Really?
the one
Oh,
time-
my
the one
God.
time
What the
I
hell
went to
was
see
that?
him, he brought Zellweger with him.
Only way I'm gonna see
And
Doyle
she was-
Bramwell, he's got to have
Yeah.
he's got to have one of them Sexton brothers with him.
Well, me and
I'll take the alternate. What's the alternate's name?
Charlie.
Charlie Sexton. Isn't there a Sean Sexton like the other brother?
Sure.
Steve
Josh Sexton.
Steve Sexton. Is Steve Sexton in there?
Kevin.
Anyway, folks, tomorrow I'm going to be having, where's the camera at? Right here. I'm going to be having a couple of guys, singer-songwriters on my other podcast, broke down at the Shack on the same YouTube page. A guy named Lucas Turner and another guy named Josh Perez. Anyway,
Hey.
singer-songwriters. Go ahead.
What about this weekend, dog?
What about?
John Jones.
Oh, let's talk about that real quick.
Real quick now.
Let me tell you.
I saw
John
him training a little bit.
John Jones, let me tell you, John Jones, to me, I knew when he manhandled Stephen Bonner years ago, that's his first fight, I was like, this guy's going to be
Did him
a
cold.
champion.
Did him cold.
He to me, I think he would, even in his prime, I think he probably would take Fedor.
Probably.
You know, if they were both in their prime, just because what he is, he's like not only is a martial artist, but he really is
heavy.
an innovator.
He's heavy-handed. Too.
Yes, he's an innovator. He takes all martial arts, and his style is like I don't know. It's always every time he has a different fight, he's doing something new. As far as when Fedor back in the old days. You know he's gonna do. He's a great grappler from Sambo,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu, this and that. You know, a brown belt, but he has heavy hands. John Jones always has something. You don't know what he's gonna bring to the table each time, but now he's a heavyweight, and he's packed up all that muscle, dude. He might be I don't know. He might be stamped the greatest after this next fight. I don't know.
It's going to be interesting. What's crazy about Jones is like, I never really saw it until about his third fight. When that dude, when he stretches, man, that dude's wingspan is, it's
Big,
freakishly
long,
That's
long.
what's so dangerous. Well, he was so dangerous because he was able to make 205 as tall as he was.
Yeah.
You know, that's why
So-
it wasn't that hard to make that transition to heavyweight.
So his last fight was what, 5 years ago? Is that what they
3
said?
years ago.
3 years ago, where he fought. Was it Dominic Reyes?
And you may be right.
Yeah.
You may be right.
And so let's just add some tension to it, right? So a lot of people think Dominic Reyes
Ah,
won.
yeah. Hey, very close. Very close.
To my untrained eye, it was very close.
Yeah. But I think he still won it. And at the same time, even though it's shitty, let's say if it was a tie goes to the winner. That's what I think.
Oh, to the yeah.
You know, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm old school though. You know.
I don't have a prediction on who's gonna win. I just want to see that dude fight at heavyweight. You know.
I know.
I've been waiting for that for
John
years,
Bones
man.
Jones. That's
Yeah.
gonna be badass. March 4th, everybody. John Bones Jones. I'm gonna be watching it. Be sure to watch my podcast tomorrow on the same YouTube channel. Broke down at the Shack. I got Lucas Turner and Josh Perez. Be sure to like and share.